Hi guys, it's Josh at the Pickle Jar, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at why waste time painting miniatures if you're not 100% sure on the colour scheme. We're going to show you some quick fire techniques on how to paint miniatures super quick so you can test out your colour schemes before committing to a full army. We're going to get started after this.
Now, the models that I'm going to be using in today's video all come from One Page Rules, the sponsor of this video. Now, the models from One Page Rules are all absolutely fantastic. Fans of the channel will have seen me work with them a few times in the past. I'm a massive fan of these models. They all come pre-supported and they are some of the best supports that I have ever used when I've been 3D printing stuff. Absolutely no problems at all. If you want to check out One Page Rules for yourself, make sure to check the links down below in the description and in the pinned comments. They've got Patreon, they've got tribes over on My Mini Factory, or if you just want to buy individual models, you can do that as well over on My Mini Factory. Now, the reason that I am using these today is because me and Luke have been talking for a while about wanting to play one of the One Page Rules games. Now, we've been umming and ahhing, going back and forth between the fantasy game, the sci-fi game, whether we want to do skirmish or big armies. So what I'm going to do today is test a few different colour schemes, because we've both decided we want to do fantasy, and we did say that we both wanted to do lizardmen, but we then agreed that realistically only one of us could do lizardmen. So I'm doing lizardmen. I can't wait to see what Luke picks, but I'm going to do lizardmen. So today we're just going to test out some colour schemes.
So all the models are now off of their supports and glued onto the bases. I fixed up a couple of issues that I had. A couple of the blow pipes snapped off, but it was an easy fix, nice easy glue back on. What we're going to do now is we're going to set up the airbrush and get ready to start priming these and getting them ready. So I'll see you in a bit.
Now, I've been using the airbrush now for about a year, and it is one of the best hobby tools that I've invested in recent times. I've learned how to do so much stuff with it. I use it to prime, I use it to zenithal highlight, I do glowing effects with it, I use it for actual just proper painting. I've got that precise with it. If you're interested in what airbrushes I recommend, there'll be links down below in the description for the ones that I use, and I highly recommend trying them out.
Now, I can already hear a lot of you guys turning the video off at the sight of an airbrush, but don't worry, we're going to be covering how to use rattle cans to do a similar sort of effect. The only reason I prefer using an airbrush is because it's a little bit more accurate, but you can do this method using spray cans, no problem at all. So we're going to cover that a little bit later on.
So for these first few models, we're just going to give them a basic prime. I'm using the Pro Acryl Black Primer, and then I'm using Liquitex White Ink as a zenithal over the top. Zenithals are a lovely way to pick out all the details when you're priming a model, so you can have a look and you can see what colours you want out to put in different places and all the different details and stuff. But also, if you put a white zenithal over the top of a black primer, you do get a nice gradient between the black and the white. And if you're planning on painting bright colours like I like to do, then it's nice having that white highlight there, because it's a nice bright colour to put your initial base coats down on, rather than trying to build them up from a black base coat, which can take a lot longer and be a little bit harder.
Okay, so the ones that we're doing with the airbrush are all primed. They've all had a nice zenithal highlight on there, so they're nice and bright for the colours going on. So we're going to get some colours down on these and show you how to quickly paint stuff up using an airbrush as your base coat. And then once we've done that, we'll move on to the other four, which we're doing with the rattle cans. So let's go and put some colours down.
Now, the reason that I'm doing this video is because about a month ago, I finally painted my Cruel Boys Orcs, the ones that came in the Dominion box. Now, I've had the Dominion box for a long time, since it came out, and I've tried to paint the models a few times, and every time I've done it, I've finished and gone, I don't like how these look. And I wasted so much time, I've put so much effort into them, only to then just reprime them and start again. It's a lot of wasted time and it's not fun. And it's really demotivating to the point where, like I said, I've only just finished painting them. And that's the point of this video. It's to show you guys some nice quick methods to get the majority of models done, so you can see what the overall look will be of the models. I'm not covering any new ground here really with painting. I'm not going to revolutionize your painting techniques. This is more about the mindset that you go into painting a project with. So what I'm doing here is just airbrushing on some colors, getting a nice base color down, adding a highlight, maybe adding some shadows in, just to get that down. And then what we're going to do is pick out the details a little bit bit later on. I like using an airbrush for this sort of thing because it's nice and quick, you can get nice blends, it's a good opportunity to get a lot of painting done all at once. You can do it with a brush, but it is a little bit slower. I know not everyone's interested in airbrushing, but we are going to cover using an aerosol can to do a similar sort of thing a little bit later on, so stick with me. Okay, so all the colours are down on the models that we're doing with the airbrush. What we're going to do now is add an oil wash, and that's going to take advantage of all those lovely recesses and all the texture on these, all the scales and stuff. It's going to go into the recesses, it's going to tint the top layer and blend all those colours together and help define it a little bit more. So let's crack on with that. Now, oil paints have fast become one of my favourite tools within miniature painting. I can't believe that I've left it until very recently to start using them. I absolutely love them. I love oil paints, and in fact, since I started using oil paints, I don't think there have been many projects that I've painted where they've not had some sort of oil wash or oil painting done on them. Now, I'm not using anything fancy or expensive. I've just bought a cheap set. I got this from the works. You can get it off eBay as well. There'll be links down below in the description for both of those. It's like £3 for a pack of 12. You get all different colours. If you're wanting to buy one specific colour, you can buy Winsor & Newton or something like that, but you really don't need a lot. Like one tube will go a long way. What we do with this is we dilute it down either with white spirits or with odourless spirits like I'm doing, and you just chuck it on. That is literally it. There's nothing complicated about oil washers. Using oil paints, they are absolutely fantastic. And the reason we use oil washers instead of normal acrylic washers, for example, that you'd get from Citadel or Army Painter or wherever else, is the working time and the ability to reactivate them. All I've done with this is chuck the wash on very liberally, covering up the majority of the model, give it a blast with the hairdryer to sort of set it and cure it a little bit, and then what you do is you take a cotton bud or a bit of kitchen towel or a brush or something like that, dip it in some clean white spirits or odourless thinner or whatever it is you're using, and go back in and rub off the excess. And what this does is it takes it off all the high raised up areas, leaving the original colour, maybe with a little bit of a tint depending on how much you take off, but it leaves the recesses tinted with the oil wash. It's absolutely fantastic. If you've never tried using oil washers before, I highly recommend trying some. Pick yourself up a cheap set, get some white spirits or something like that, and just have a go on a random project. You will not regret it. So the models that we've been doing with the airbrush are now all dry, everything's sorted, the oil washers are all dry, and we're going to take them outside, give them a quick spray with a matte varnish from Colourforge, and then we're going to take the other 4 models as well that I promised you would show you how to do a similar technique using rattle cans. So we're going to take them outside and we're going to use a sanguine red from Colourforge and then give it a dusting over with white burn as well. Now, these aren't quite as accurate as using an airbrush because obviously they are from a rattle can, but we'll see what sort of effects and results we can get with them using these, and then using some more traditional speed painting things such as speed paints or contrast paints. We'll get outside and give them a spray and I'll catch you in a bit. Now, we've not done anything fancy with these. A quick spritz underneath with the red rattle can and then over the top with the white burn, which is a sort of off cream colour, just to give it a zenithal. Now, it's not as nice as doing it with an airbrush, but if you've not got an airbrush or you're not interested in airbrushing, it's a nice alternative to get a similar sort of look. You can use different colours, whatever you prefer. I just fancied having a go with the red to try and add some warmer colours into these colour schemes. Now, all I'm doing now is using speed paints, I'm using contrast paints, all the normal sort of speed painting techniques. And again, I'm not covering any new ground here. This isn't going to be showing you a new amazing way of painting. It's about the mindset. So all we're doing is trying to get the majority of the model painted up, to test out different colours, to work out what works together, to work out what looks good. So I'm trying out a few different colours for the skin on all the different skinks and geckos. I'm trying different colours on the leather, on all the clothing and stuff like that, for the metallics, for the weapons. Trying different colours on each model, different combinations. And that's what this is about. You need to try different things, because you might try a green on one and think, oh, that looks nice, but then you might put a brown on for the leather and it doesn't work. So try a different colour for the leather on a different model. Now, I know that we're talking about doing the majority of the models in this video, but you do need to still add some details in, because details are what make your finished models pop. Now, don't go crazy with them because there's no point in spending absolutely ages. Just get a rough idea, a rough colour of what you're wanting to do. And then when you stand back and look at it on a table, that's what you're going to be looking at the majority of the time. You can put more effort in when you do your final finished version, but what you look at from arm's length at the table is what you'll see the majority of the time. And that's how you can tell if the colour scheme is any good or if you like it. So that's what we need to do. Just make stuff pop on the table, get it to a decent point and then leave it. Don't spend time painting things up, edge highlight, all that sort of stuff, don't bother. But what I would say you need to do is to base the models. Now we need to base the models because basing a model absolutely finishes it off. You can do an absolutely stellar paint job on a model, paint it up and spend hundreds of hours on it. If it's not got a nice base, it detracts from the model. I don't know why, it's something weird that his heads do, but that is fact amongst wargaming, I would say. If you disagree, let me know down below in the comments, but I think a base is an absolute necessity to make a model look finished. All I'm doing is using some fast drying basing glue from Geek Gaming Scenics and patchy planes from Geek Gaming Scenics. Nice easy way to base stuff up nice and quick. For the finished ones, I'll probably add some ferns and some flocks and things like that to make them look a bit more alive, but just to finish off the bases for the purposes of this video and the test schemes, this is a really nice easy way to get them done, and I think they look absolutely fantastic. I've got a few different ones in here that I like, and what I might do is use different colour schemes for different units, but I can't wait to get started on my lizardmen army and finally start playing one-page rules with Luke. Let me know down below in the comments if you're looking forward to seeing that.
So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a few things along the way. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you're brand new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want to help support the channel, there are our affiliate links all down below in the description. And there's also our channel membership right here on YouTube. I want to say a massive thank you to all our current channel members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for helping to support the channel and continue helping us do what we do. That's going to do it for me today. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, enjoy your hobby.